Hello and welcome back to the channel once again. Today I just wanted to do a brief video on my newest addition to the collection, and that is this Planet Industrial's 060 tank Victory class locomotive. This is the Rails of Sheffield Railway Operating Division exclusive. The model itself is DCC ready with provisions for a Next 18 decoder. I actually went ahead and put in the Oxford Rail Next 18 decoder that was in my Dean Goods locomotive. That's an ESU Loksound 4 Next 18 decoder. I went ahead and put that in because I wanted to see how it would perform and sound. I don't think this decoder is going to live in this locomotive. It's just going to be a temporary solution while I play around with the model. Now, before I show you the model running with this orphaned sound decoder, I'm going to open it up first and oil the motor bearings. As the guys from Planet Industrials have mentioned, this is the best way to combat any sound. Apparently the oil and lubricants have dried up in the long time it has taken from the models to be manufactured to being delivered. So I'm just going to briefly look at the manual. It's a very nice manual going over the history of the Victory. And there's only 2 screws as indicated on the manual that you need to remove to access the insides. They are right behind the coupling screws on both the front and the rear. And we'll just carefully put the screws to the side. And we have a good look at the chassis. It's got a flywheel, speaker ready for sound, and you can see the decoder. I've already put in the Next 18 Loksound 4 decoder for testing purposes. I thought about removing the flywheel and putting a small current keeper in its place, but I haven't decided yet. And you can see the cavity where the decoder sits. And there's actually a cavity on the other side. Maybe I could fit a current keeper in there instead. It's mostly die-cast construction with some, I believe the cab and the tanks are plastic. Overall, a very nice model, very hefty. It has an empty coal bunker, so I'll be filling that with coal at some point. Taking a closer look at the chassis, we need to get to the motor bearings, and that means removing the speaker. I'm going to be using Label 106 and Label 107 lubricants. 106 is a grease and 107 is of course a machine oil. The grease will go a little bit on the worm gear and the oil will go on the motor bearings. Now the speaker box is held in place with a very light adhesive. I'm going to use a little bit of Elmer's white glue to just glue it back into place. It's easy enough to remove if we need to ever access these gears again. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on a toothpick and apply it in those 4 corners and those holes where the box sits. Finally, we can put the shell back on the chassis and reassemble the model. And with only 2 screws, it goes very quick. I really appreciate the simplicity in assembly when it comes to just taking the body off. And our model is ready for running. Let's put it on the track and take a listen. And a reminder that this is a sound profile that was originally made for the Dean Goods by Oxford Rail. And while I have adjusted the chuffs per revolution, it's still not quite right, but you know what, for just testing purposes, I think it's fine. It's so incredibly smooth and just so incredibly slow. While I have it out, why don't we take a quick look at some of the new changes to the ROD280 while I have it here. As you can see in the bunker, we have real coal. This is actually glued in on top of the steel weights that were in the chassis originally that I removed to make room for the scale sound system speaker and the 21-pin decoder and the keep alive. And in the cab, of course, you can see some new figures. We have Model U figures. This is part of their World War I Royal Engineers set, I believe. I'm very happy with how they've turned out, and I'm happy that this beautiful cab now has some life inside of it. Well, that's pretty much going to do it. This isn't a full-fledged review, I wasn't trying to do that sort of thing, but I was excited to show the model, and this is an excellent first attempt of a ready-to-run model by a company that is known for doing kits and conversions of other models. So well done, Planet Industrials. I'm excited to see what they come up with next. The model itself is an excellent complement to the recently obtained Bachmann 009 narrow gauge tank locomotive, and you can see the difference in size. The Victory is a chunker of a model. It is a big boy in terms of being a little tank engine. And it complements the ROD280 very well, I think, as well. So that's going to do it for today, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy the channel, consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. I hope to have an update on some of the narrow gauge stuff pretty soon, and the World War I themed focus that I've currently got going, but we have more coming in the future. And for now, thank you so much for watching.